for them. They know they're the regular season champs regardless.
Got the Falcons back for the first time into a tie after they...
And Miami has drawn first blood.
Sign in, he's going right out in front, and what a save!
Greg Squires, the first goal in this shootout.
Well, hi again, hockey fans. Welcome into week number 11, a playoff edition of Ccha Now. Great to be with you here. My name is Ben Holden. Yes, the Bowling Green Falcons. They are not just the story of the CCHA, they are the story of college hockey as they pulled off the upset 3 games, and they did it in comeback fashion on the road Sunday against the number 1 seeded Ferris State Bulldogs. The other series all completed, of course. Michigan taking care of Notre Dame in 2 games. Miami looking very impressive. They took care of Michigan State in 2. And Western Michigan, the Broncos were well rested, and they took care of the Lake Superior State Lakers in 2 games as well. So the matchups coming up for this weekend at Joe Louis Arena, it will be in the first game, Miami and Western Michigan, and then it'll be Michigan taking on the Bowling Green Falcons in the nightcap down at Joe Louis Arena. Michigan making its 24th straight CCHA semifinal appearance against those Bowling Green Falcons, their first CCHA semifinal appearance since 2000-2001. Miami, they've been to it 5 of the last 7 years, and Western Michigan, impressive what the Broncos have done. Last season under Jeff Blashill, they get to Joe Louis, and this year under first-year head coach Andy Murray, they're at Joe Louis as well. So the semifinal set should be a great weekend of hockey down at Joe Louis Arena. Now, let's shift our attention a little bit to the NCAA tournament. Of course, Ferris State getting beat in that series with Bowling Green. The Bulldogs are fine. They will still be in the NCAA tournament. Couple of other teams to keep your eyes on. Michigan State right now, as of this week going into the weekend, they would be in the NCAA tournament. Northern Michigan, they're going to need some things to shake out and go their way for them to still get in. So they're going to kind of have to wait and see what happens in all the tournaments around the country this weekend. Well, moving on now to our top 10 plays of the week. Always a much anticipated segment in this show by all of us on the staff, and we hope for all of you that watch online at ccha.com and at YouTube. Let's get kicked off. We'll go 10 through 6 here to start things off with this week's top 10 plays of the week. In at number 10, Bronco captain Ian Slater in the right spot at the right time. Finds the rebound and goes low blocker in Game 2 Saturday night against Lake State. That proved to be the game winner as the Broncos sunk the Lakers in a 2-0 series sweep. In at number 9, we go to Oxford, Game 2, Miami and Michigan State. Riley Smith, who is on absolute fire right now, gives up the puck, then goes to the net, gets it, and goes 5-hole to put Miami up 1-0. Redhawks would sweep the series 2-0. In at number 8 this week, the 5th-year senior, Sean Hunwick, making goalies all over the CCHA envy his play. A stellar effort over the weekend in the 2-game sweep against Notre Dame. Allowed just 2 goals in the series. And the last one you'll see here, the prettiest of the bunch, somehow denying Notre Dame senior Billy Mayday. Staying with a goalie theme, Hunwick's counterpart at Yost, Steven Summerhays, was really good in this series against Michigan. They ended up on the losing side, but he was very good. Made some big stops on Friday in the double overtime game. Made it look easy in a variety of different ways. Then on Saturday night, a great save, just getting his big toe on what would have been a Michigan goal, so hats off to Steven Summerhays. In at number 6 this week, Big Tex. Chris Brown helping us out. Mac Bennett finds him, goes high blocker, 3 minutes in a double overtime to win Game 1 for Michigan. 2-1 the final, thanks to Chris Brown's game winner. Well, it'll be a very special night Thursday coming up at the Fox Theater in downtown Detroit for the CCHA Award Show. And let's honor now the finalists from 3 of the major categories, and we'll start with the finalists for the Coach of the Year award. You've got Bob Daniels, Tom Anastas, and Red Berenson, those 3 guys up for that award. For the Player of the Year award, Torrey Krug from Michigan State, Riley Smith from Miami, and Chad Billings from Ferris State. And the Rookie of the Year award, the finalists there, Austin Zarnik from Miami, Frank Slabowski, also known as the Big Slabowski, Western Michigan's outstanding goalie, and Alex Guptill round out the list. And it should be a very fun night. Those awards and several other will be handed out at the CCHA Award Show that kicks off this great weekend of hockey coming up Thursday, March the 15th at the Fox Theater. Tickets are still available if you need them at the door for $15. And fans, there's not just great hockey action going on this weekend downtown Detroit. In addition to the semifinals and the final at the Joe, there will be a slew of other activities going on. Our Hockey in the D Tour crew will be all hands on deck at the CCHA Fan Fest on Friday, March 16th from 10 a.m. to 4 in the afternoon. That'll be held at the GM Winter Garden at the Renaissance Center, as well as 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Saturday, March 17th, where you can earn prizes and giveaways from the CCHA. The CCHA Commissioners Party will follow after the Michigan Bowling Green semifinal matchup on Friday night at 10:30, also at the Winter Garden. Well, let's move on now, and among the many great features the CCHA production staff brings us each and every week, one of those, well, the 20 questions. This week, we sit down with Miami defenseman Chris Weidman.
Favorite spot on campus would probably be Bell Tower Cafe, especially in the fall and spring. You can sit out in the patio and then enjoy the true scenery of Miami University.
And you can see the full version of that if you'd like on Thursday morning at ccha.com. Time now to take a look at this week's USCHO.com poll, the top 20 poll. CCHA well represented once again this week with 7 teams in the poll. And we start out in the top 5. Michigan, number 3. They were number 4 last week. Miami continues to rise up the standings. They're number 7, up 4 from 11. Ferris State dropping 6 down to number 8 in the bottom half of the top 20. Western Michigan up 2 after their sweep against Lake Superior State. Michigan State down to 16 from 15th, and Notre Dame, they are down 1 to number 18. That's a look at the CCHA teams this week in the USCHO poll. Well, last week right here on CCHA Now, we told you about our top 12 plays of the year. 1 team from each of the 11 CCHA teams and a special bonus play, and the math even for me is pretty simple. That comes up to 12 play. Now, you can vote up through the end of the CCHA award show. If you happen to be there, you can Twitter, Facebook, whatever you got to do. You can send in your vote, and we'll have the award winner at the end of the CCHA award show on Thursday night. Well, time now to unveil our top 5 plays of the week, and I will tell you before we get into it, it's got a real Bowling Green Falcon feel to it, as it should. The Falcons, the number 11 seed, the lowest seed to ever, folks, ever advance to the CCHA Championship. Here we go with number 5 this week, and we call on the young man they call Hammy. Andrew Hammond, in overtime of Game 1 Friday night against Ferris State, makes the big stop up high off his chest to keep the Falcons alive. They would go on to win Game 1 3-2 in overtime. In at number 4, Derek Graham of Ferris State with a pretty finish here, able to sneak it by Hammond as the Bulldogs would keep their season alive on Saturday night with a 7-4 win in Game 2. In at number 3 this week, a response goal from Notre Dame at Yost after they fell down 3-0. 19 seconds after that, Jeff Costello, the hit, forces the turnover. Red Wings first rounder Riley Sheahan, great look to the pride of Vienna, Austria. Peter Schneider made it a 3-1 game there, and our number 3 play of the week. In at number 2, David Wahlberg can flat out fire the pill from Saturday night, the first of 2 goals on the night, an absolute rocket going shelf there as Wahlberg and the Wolverines won the hockey game 3-1. And drum roll please, maybe a parade is necessary for Bowling Green and Dan DeSalvo. He turned in the natural hat trick in Game 3 against Ferris State, a wrister for his first of the night. The next 2 goals, both tips, great net front presence by DeSalvo on both. The Falcons were down 3-0 but came back to win the game 4-3 and the series in 3 games against the top-seeded Ferris State Bulldogs. DeSalvo, a CCHA playoff record, 10 goals in 6 games, and this week's number 1 plays of the week. Well, our shift has ended here on this week's edition, our playoff edition of CCHA Now. Hope you can get down to Joe Louis Arena. 4 great games down there this weekend. Of course, the semifinals on Friday at 4:30, and then coming up the slated start time, 8 o'clock for Michigan and Bowling Green in Game 2. Then on Saturday, if you get down to the Joe early, the 3rd place game, and then the championship coming up at 7:30 from Joe Louis Arena. Got our jersey giveaway still that'll come to an end this weekend. You have to be in person to try to win one of 11 CCHA jerseys and one of 11 NHL jerseys worn by the guys that wore the CCHA jerseys. So hopefully you'll have some good luck down there for that. You can always follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, right here on ccha.com. So we hope you do that each and every day. Want to remind you, too, that coming up on the 18th, Sunday, March the 18th, ESPNU at noon, it'll be the NCAA Tournament Selection Show, and we'll find out how many and where the CCHA teams are going in this year's 2012 NCAA Tournament. That's our show for this week. Thanks to our crew. Thanks to you for watching. My name is Ben Holden. We'll see you at the Joe.